Welcome everyone who's joining.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. If you're just logging in, we're just waiting for everyone else to join. Give it a few moments. And if you want to pop in the chat box where you're joining us from, that would be great.
Have a look, who have we got? Derby, London, Noel Academy, well, London again.
Oh. Suffolk, Birmingham, all over.
Amazing.
Thanks for joining us.
Had a look before we come on the call, Papa. We've actually got just over 300 apprenticeship opportunities at the moment, across 190 different sites, all in these areas as well. So all very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Still coming through. Oh, no Academy Kent, that's near where I am. More London, lots of London. Brilliant.
Brilliant. Right, let me just. We'll kick off with the video.
Hi, my name is Tom. I'm 24 and I've been doing my IT role for just over 3 months. So I just graduated from university and I graduated with a degree in psychology, but decided that psychology wasn't the path I wanted to go down. But I'd always been quite into technology and I did very well in IT in college, and then decided to pick up IT again after my university degree. I found the whole process straightforward and easy. I applied through the government website and then I had an interview about a week or so afterwards. Then a few days after that I had a second interview, at which point they told me they'd like to have me on as their on-site apprentice for IT.
My name's Afra, I'm 18 and I work as a level 3 business administrator. So I was at sixth form and I realised that I wanted something with more work experience. So I decided to look on the Gov website, and I was scrolling through the different types of apprenticeships and I noticed Let Me Play's advert, and I decided that I like the core values that they have. They're very supportive, and I looked at the website and saw that they have a lot of school partnerships, and I feel like it's something that would suit me and my needs.
My name's Ramel, I'm 21. I work in recruitment, specialising in apprenticeships. So I did a sports coach apprenticeship. I am now full-time with LMP Education, doing recruitment. During my apprenticeship, I was based at head office. I would do a bit of business admin work, so doing scheduling, working with a wraparound care, and then I'll go out coaching at numerous schools across London, delivering sports, performing arts, arts and crafts, and a bit of childcare.
So this placement through LMP Education is going to help me in my career path through raw exposure to IT networks and that sort of thing. It's going to be applicable to every job role I apply for in the future now.
Through LMP Education's apprenticeship, I feel like I've developed a lot of communication skills because I interact with a lot of different people with a lot of different needs. In terms of work, I feel like I've become more professional and I apply my functional skills. I also like helping out in other departments. I like getting different experiences.
During my apprenticeship, I got to meet loads of new people, and it still happens now. I go out to a lot of career fairs where I get to meet new students, potential apprentices. I get to meet school business managers, so I'm always building like a network with people, even with other companies. So when I go to career fairs, some of the same people that went to like another one, I'll meet them again and I build like a connection with them, get in contact with them on LinkedIn.
So I've done both a degree at university and I'm currently doing an apprenticeship. And I'd say the advantages of doing an apprenticeship would be it's a shorter amount of time to get a qualification. You get paid the whole time also. Money can be quite a struggle when you're at university, and that's not an issue in an apprenticeship. It's a lot more hands-on than a university degree, because with a university degree you're sort of given the resources to learn and it's up to you to do it, whereas with an apprenticeship you're on site doing the work every day.
I recommend LMP Education's apprenticeships because of the levels of support that they provide, and they give an insight of what the real working world is like, and you'll have a great time doing it.
Brilliant, fantastic. Let me just I'll just put in the chat there, let us know what type of apprenticeship are you interested in as well. You would have seen there's quite a few or three different types of apprenticeships there that they were talking about. And I think one of the most powerful things, and the reason why we show that video, is because some of these people actually went to university or college first before deciding they wanted to then move into an apprenticeship role. And there's obvious benefits there, which we're going to cover towards the end as well. Let me just screen share. Okay, fantastic. You see that okay, Poppy?
Yes, yeah.
Excellent. So guys, everybody on the call, a massive welcome to this live webinar. This is a guide into apprenticeships and your career options. This is actually part of our summer webinar series. So this is something that we do 3 times throughout the summer. We had our last one in June. This one's obviously in July. And we've got another one that's going to be out there in August as well. And what we're hoping to cover is a bit of information really about how you can get into apprenticeships and your guide to lots of different career options that you can actually kick off through apprenticeships as well. So what we're hoping to cover today is some key facts and considerations that you should be taking when looking to apply for an apprenticeship role. Some of the employers we work with across the UK. Some of you that were on the call to start off with, you might have heard we've got hundreds of vacancies right now that employers want you to start right now and also in September. So hopefully we're going to cover off some of those with you today. Current and up and coming apprenticeship opportunities, how to apply for them, some CV tips and tricks, and then we're going to have a one-to-one at the very end. So if you do have any questions, there's a Q&A box on your screen. Please put those Q&A questions into there. Please don't use the chat box when it comes to questions. Please use that Q&A box. So let's get started. So who are we really? So firstly, my name is Jamie McVeigh. I am the sales director here at LMP Education, and I'm also joined by my colleague Poppy. Poppy is our recruitment team leader. So Poppy has lots of experience. I think your team, Poppy, actually probably speaks to hundreds of people every single day when it comes to apprenticeship options. So lots of experienced people on the call as well. In regards to who else is on the call, we've got our panelists with us. We've got Katie, Mariah, Chantel, Owen, and also Lauren, who all work within our recruitment team. And they're going to be there answering those questions that you might have. So if you do have questions, last time, probably not the last time I'm going to say it, but if you can put any questions you have into that Q&A function, then this panel that's on the call right now should answer those questions throughout. But if not, we're going to come back on at the end and answer those questions live in there as well. So firstly, why are we doing these webinars? So I mentioned this is our summer webinar series, number 2 out of 3. But the reason why we want to do it is because we think it's a great way to communicate to the hundreds of applicants we get every week and that we talk to every day as well. We have lots of new employability programs and also apprenticeship opportunities nationwide that are available. And some of those will certainly match up to the ones that came through in the chat just a moment ago as well. And this webinar recording, we actually send it out and put it onto our YouTube channel afterwards. So all of our schools that we work with can send it out to all the school leavers across the country as well. And quite honestly, all we want to do is support you. So if you come onto this call, whether you're a parent, a carer, you might be a career advisor or a teacher working in the school, we want to support you to support other people and school leavers or young people into an apprenticeship opportunity. because we really do believe it could be the start of a new career for the applicant. So massive congratulations to those that have made it. If you have applied for a role with us, well done for being here. We do receive more than 30,000 applications every 6 months, and we do try and help as many people as we can. But around about 10% of those applicants get invited to things like this webinar. They actually talk to a member of our team and get put forward for a role as well. So just by tuning in today, this is going to give you a great head start into becoming an apprentice in the future. And really, our intention, like I said a moment ago, is to find each and every one of you an apprenticeship, or maybe support you into your next steps, as well as offering that information, advice and guidance, so that way, if you are thinking about your options right now, you're going to have a bit of a clearer thought process when it comes to whether you go to become an apprentice, whether you go to college, or whether you go straight into employment as well. So you're going to have a good idea of how apprenticeships work by the end of this, and obviously there's that Q&A section at the very end there as well. So who is LMP Education? You've seen the video at the very start. You've probably seen our logo a few times, but quite simply, we are an award-winning apprenticeship provider. We are one of the top 3 providers in the UK right now, and that is by an organisation called Rate My Apprenticeships, and the awards are actually tomorrow night as well for the next one. So hopefully we're going to improve on our score there as well. But we are a national apprenticeship training provider, and we employ tutors nationwide to deliver that high quality teaching and training. And in terms of our offer, we have a really wide offer of training programs across 3 different service areas. Those service areas are specialist services, we have business and professional services, and our main area is called teaching, early years and sports. We have a variety of programs in each of those as well. In regards to us as a provider, we are part of a wider organisation called the LMP Group, and within that group we have LMP Action, which is a CIC, and we also have another company called Inspire ATA, and that company actually employs apprentices. We train them with LMP Education, and then what we do is we host them out to organisations all over the whole of England right now. We also deliver other programs other than apprenticeships. We deliver alternative education, we do holiday camps, employability programs, we upskill existing staff within schools and businesses, and we also provide short courses, which I'm actually going to touch upon a little bit later, because some of those short courses you might be able to do whilst you're actually applying and interviewing with for an apprenticeship as well. So we're also rated good by Ofsted, and like I said a minute ago, we are ranked the 3rd best training provider in the UK right now by Rate My Apprenticeships, and there's some of our logos there in terms of what we're actually really proud of. And I think one of the things we are really proud of is our mission statement there. So we are really all about creating inspirational journeys and delivering excellence in learning. So let's have a look at our offer in a bit more detail. So these are some of the main programs that we deliver. There's a whole range of programs there, right from digital marketing, which I actually got told today that digital marketing actually includes some information around AI as well, which is a really, really hot topic right now. Lab technicians, marketing executives, we've got business administrators, team leaders, school business professionals, teaching assistants, sport coaches, the list goes on, guys, in regards to the opportunities that we do have in there. And some of our most popular vacancies that we see delivered across the whole of England are things like teaching assistants, early year assistants, digital marketing, lab technicians, HR assistants, and the list really does go on and on. And with all of our programs, what we try and do, and something we're going to talk about later, is we are trying to create these career pathways. So whether you start as a teaching assistant, level 2 or level 3, wherever it might be, we have those career pathways. So actually, you might be an apprentice for 2, 3, 4 years, depending on what pathway you choose in there as well. And then in terms of our added value, so we're not just an apprenticeship provider, we try and also add a lot of value to the programs that we do deliver. So we also offer workshops on the following things like safeguarding training, mental health first aid, paediatric training. We actually include that in our early year educator apprenticeship. We've also got the TADP, that's the Teaching Assistant Development Programme. Again, that's included in all of our teaching assistant programs. That's in there as well. And we also, as an apprentice, you're also given the opportunity to complete up to 5 CPD courses, where we actually have a list of about 70 different courses that alongside your tutor, you'll get to pick from as well. I've just got a couple of those listed on there as well. So employability programs and short courses. So we actually have a national contract at the moment where we can actually deliver and provide a range of short courses to support adults with learning, but also continued professional development to help any advancement into any new job, or maybe even a promotion if you're already employed on there as well. And these courses, really, we try and use these courses as part of our apprenticeship recruitment process. So if you are successful when you come through to us and you would like to do an apprenticeship for one of our vacancies, there's a high chance that if you're eligible, Poppy and team will actually put you onto a series of short courses whilst you're actually interviewing with some of our applicants. So what does that mean? If you are eligible for those programs, you're going to be assigned a career coach who's going to help and support you until you are successful with one of our apprenticeship vacancies in there as well. Now, these programs, these adult education programs, they are for those that are 19 plus. If you are sat there right now and you're thinking, I'm not 19 plus yet, don't worry, you can still apply for our apprenticeship programs. It's just that these particular ones won't be available to you, but you can see there's a whole range of programs that we have there, and our aim with these programs are to make you and support you into that employment, and they're programs you'll be going on as short courses before you actually gain your apprenticeship in there as well. Pretty much what I've just said, it's just come up on the screen there. But yeah, they are for anybody, any adults living in London or any non-devolved area. And we call it our AEB short course provision. So if you're age 19 plus right now, you're thinking, actually, I'd really like to look at some of those courses right now. When we give you our contact details at the end, just put the word AEB into, or short course, into your email, and Poppy and the team will pick it up. And then they'll be able to get on the phone, talk you through all those programs, but also more importantly, talk you through the apprenticeship opportunities that we have at the end there as well. So these are some of our bit more information really about some of our employability programs in London. So they're really for anybody aged 16 to 24 that lives in London, and there's lots of different preparation work that you can go through on that one as well. But I'm just going to whiz over that one and start talking more about some of the companies that we work with. So hopefully those on the call now, and I can't obviously ask for a show of hands, hopefully there's some logos there that we recognise, particularly the NHS one, I would say. But with these are some of our top clients that we work with, and you might see a lot of these are actually multi-academy trusts. So around about 70% of our clients are actually multi-academy trusts, which means we actually work with hundreds of different schools as well. So anybody that looking to get into a career in teaching, yes, that's great. Actually, each multi-academy trust has a quite corporate setup at their head office, say. So it might be you want to work in HR, you might want to work in business admin, accounts, whatever it might be. There's going to be an IT department as an example. So lots of opportunities within just these clients that we have on the screens there. We've got big hotel names, we've got government departments, we've got the NHS that we work with, fashion retailers, early year nurseries, and many, many other types of organisations that we work with. And what we think is great about having such a variety of clients like we have here, and this isn't just all of our clients, by the way, is we're actually able to offer so many different career pathways that we can offer any of those that actually apply in to our programs. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight really into who we are, why we're doing these programs, some of our short course provision in terms of the preparation work we can do for you as you move into an apprenticeship. So what I'm now going to do is I am going to hand over to Poppy, who's going to move across into some more detail and information really about apprenticeships. But just before I do, a quick reminder, I've seen quite a few questions come into that Q&A box already. So any questions you do have, please put it in that Q&A box and a team member will get back to you as soon as possible. But I'll hand over to Poppy.
Thanks so much, Jamie. Yeah, and just another warm welcome. Thanks everyone for joining us today. I'm going to be speaking specifically about our apprenticeships and the vacancies that we have on offer, and the full process from start to finish when applying to one of our programs. So firstly, as a sort of starting point, let's have a quick look at some of our facts and stats around our apprenticeships and our offer. So a massive 91% of our learners said they feel supported on their apprenticeship, which is brilliant. Again, 94%, which is a massive statistic, of learners agree their apprenticeship is developing them in the workplace. And 88% of learners said they are enjoying their apprenticeship. So a really high percentage across the board there of our apprentices are thriving in their apprenticeship. They're adding value to their career. So great statistics. And if we could move on to the facts, I'll go through those. So apprenticeships offer real industry exposure in the workplace. So it's a full-time job that give learners the opportunity to earn money whilst gaining that qualification. So you're getting the best of both worlds, essentially. You're gaining your qualification and you're gaining that practical hands-on work experience, which is brilliant. The qualifications can be offered all the way up to degree level. So regardless of your age or experience, you can be sure that you're adding value to the future of your career. So any age, no matter how old you are, as long as you're 16 plus, you can join one of our apprenticeships. The apprenticeship is a great investment in your future, absolutely. So ensuring that you take the next step in your career with the right course and the right employer for you is essential. So that's why we're here today, and we will go on to that a little bit sort of further on in the presentation regarding, you know, what to research and what to look out for when applying for these courses. Our tutors are all well experienced and highly qualified, as Jamie mentioned, and they will support you in your studies throughout the apprenticeship programmes that we offer. Here at LMP Group, we do offer a blended form of learning, the majority of which is all delivered online and remote for you, which is nice and easy to access. It's all delivered online. Again, just something to look out for when applying for courses. Some apprenticeship providers like you to do a day release at college, or block placements, or, you know, virtual online. So just look out for that. Here at LMP, it's all delivered online for you. So nice little overview. If we could just move on, we're going to have a look at some of the apprenticeship key details, the key information, if you were looking at becoming an apprentice. So you'll be paid at least $5.28 per hour. So that will be the national minimum apprenticeship wage. If you're 19 plus, it will then move to the national minimum wage for your age after your first year of service. The minimum duration for the practical training period is 12 months. So all apprenticeships will be 12 months or longer duration. Many of them are longer. So it will vary. Some courses are 40 months, some are 16. I think one of the longest we have is around 21, 24 months. So again, just keep an eye out on that, on the duration in terms of your commitment and what you're looking for. You'll need to allow 1 to 3 months for the endpoint assessment known as the EPA. That is typically included within the duration that's listed with the apprenticeship, but you will tend to have an endpoint assessment at the end of that course. The employment contract will cover that. That's the practical period and the endpoint assessment for you as well. In order to complete the apprenticeship, the minimum duration that you'd need to be working for is 30 hours per week. 30 hours plus. The highest amount of hours you'd be doing is around 40, but 30 is the absolute minimum. You are an employee with the same employment rights, so you still get things like your holiday pay, your sick pay, things like that, all the same benefits, just that you're an apprentice and you're training, and you will be entitled to 20% off the job training, and that can be anything from time spent on sort of written assignments, your coursework, lectures, shadowing staff in the workplace, practical training exercises, things like that, and essentially sort of aims to teach you new skills, knowledge, behaviours, that are directly relevant to the apprenticeship programme of study. And the purpose of off-the-job training is to essentially bridge that gap in any of your knowledge that you have, to ensure that you're competent in all areas of your area of study, essentially. So they're all the key details for the apprenticeship. If we could move on to some of the key considerations. Brilliant. So this is just essentially about the research when applying for an apprenticeship. So it's really important that you're doing your research, so it's essentially the right fit for you. And we need to look at things like the employer and the training provider, because obviously, unlike a normal full-time job, you've got that element of training involved as well. So with the employer, things to look out for: do you really want to work for that organisation? What do they stand for? What are their core values? At the end of the day, you need to make sure that when you work there, it's something that you believe in, you support, it fits in well with your ethics, your values, your core beliefs as well. It's the start of your career, so make sure it's something you actually want to be going into long term. So things like progression opportunities that are available, and can you get there easily? Myself and team will always discuss that with you, as should any other sort of training provider, just to make sure that you can commute to that workplace easily and it's doable for you to do, every day across that full duration of the course. In terms of the training provider then, slightly different things to look out for, but you need to make sure, are they a good quality training provider at the end of the day? What's their most recent Ofsted ratings, any awards that they've won? What are their, company reviews, their apprentice reviews? Do a little bit of research into those that have already completed courses with them. What do they think about the services that they offer? What are the progression opportunities in terms of future training? So here at LMP, we will be discussing that further on, but we do offer a lot of progression routes. So once you've done, say, your level 3 teaching assistant, you can then progress and do level 4s and level 5s with us as well. So just something to look out for in terms of your progression routes that are available. Again, how will your training be delivered? So that's when I mentioned things like, is it remote delivery? Is it block placements? Is it a college day release? So look at how they're delivering and offering their training. Is the training relevant to the job that you're wanting to go into? And what does the training cover? So a little tip there, I've added in a link, the Institute of Apprenticeships. It's a great source, a great website to look into when you know what course you're looking at, or even just to browse the areas of study, the standards that are available. You can also look on the government apprenticeship website, and also when you're doing your research, all of the training provider websites will have their course programs and their course descriptors on offer. So we also have that on our website, on our apprenticeships page as well. But yeah, just really important to do your research. If we could move on to the next slide then, and we'll be looking at the eligibility requirements. So here at LMP, ideally, we'll be looking for applicants that have both their English and their maths GCSEs or equivalent. And when we say equivalent, that's things like your functional skills level 2, and that's at a pass grade, so equivalent to your grades 4 and C or above. It's important to note, obviously, it's that time of year at the moment. If you are in the situation where you're waiting for your grades, your results to come in August, and we can look at your predicted grades ready for September, because that's when you'd typically be starting now. So that's not to put you off. We can accept your predicted grades. And what we can also do is look at doing initial assessments with you. So I'll come on to that in a moment. If you are an exceptionally good candidate, you put together a really great application, you're really interested in progressing with us into an apprenticeship, but you haven't got maybe the grades you wanted in your English or your maths, we can occasionally let you sort of drop one of the grades in one of those, and then again we can deliver and offer that course alongside the apprenticeship. So all that means is you would say you've passed your maths but not your English. We can support you in achieving your level 2 functional skills in that area alongside the apprenticeship, as long as you've completed and passed that initial assessment with us. And that's on a platform called BKSB. Some of you may be familiar with that. We can set that up for you on the screening calls that we do. You would complete your BKSB initial assessments and then be put through to the interview phase. So it's nice and easy. We talk you through every step. So yeah, nice and easy to access. We also look for things for your right to work document. So that's your ID, your passport, you know, proof of address, things like that. And we do have to make sure that you've lived in the UK for 3 or more years or since birth. So yeah, there's just a few of the requirements there. And then just lastly, if you've got any prior learning. So this is on sort of a case-by-case basis. And again, we would always have that conversation with you when you've applied and we're doing our screening calls. But typically, if you've already studied in that area, so say you've done a level 3 teaching apprenticeship or teaching qualification, you wouldn't then be able to do the level 3 apprenticeship in teaching with us. So just keep an eye out on that. If you're ever unsure, it's always worth picking up the phone, getting in contact with us, and we can sort of discuss that with you anyway. All right, so that's just some of the eligibility requirements. So in terms of our application and enrolment process, then this is what it would look like once you've applied for a vacancy with us. As I mentioned, you'd undergo initial screenings with a member of our experienced recruitment team that are on the call with you today. And this will involve a 10-15 minute call, and that's just to discuss your suitability for the apprenticeship and provides us with a chance, you know, to get to know yourself a little bit better. And the idea is we provide robust information, advice, guidance to make sure that this is the right programme and the right course for you. And we discuss things like, you know, can you viably commute to the workplace? Are the wages suitable for you at this time in your life? You know, are the hours okay? Does that fit around your personal life? Is the duration of course suitable for you to commit to? So things like that we'd always discuss with you so that you're aware of what you're signing up to, essentially, if you are successful. During the call, you'd undergo eligibility checks. So that's what we just mentioned, things like your right to work document, your ID, your English and your maths certificates. So we discuss all of that over the phone with you and then pop you forward for an interview, all being well. Once successful, a detailed skills scan will be conducted during your enrolment phase. And we do this to identify your starting point before obviously you start that apprenticeship, and that just gives your tutor a chance to formulate an individual learning plan for yourself, and also gives you the opportunity to then meet with your tutor that will be working with you throughout your course. So that's just what the application and enrolment phase will look like for you. Moving on then to our specific opportunities. So as Jamie mentioned at the start of the call, we have actually got some really exciting opportunities at the moment. It's our busiest time of year. We've got lots and lots of schools and clients that we're working with that are really, really excited to hire an apprentice for an immediate start now and for the new academic year as well. So don't forget, it's not just for September. We do recruit all year round, and we are offering positions now that are ready, available to be snapped up, which I'll come on to in a moment. But roughly we've got around 200 plus apprenticeship vacancies that are currently live with us at LMP Group. We have around 300 plus employability support opportunities in and around the London and surrounding areas. And yeah, lots more opportunities ongoing throughout the year. So as I mentioned, not just now, we do recruit all year round. It's not just for academic starts. All right. If we can move on to the next slide, let's have a look at our hot jobs. So these are the apprenticeships that we are recruiting for now. They're live. There are many, many others, lots more others, hundreds. But these are just some that we have within the recruitment team that we're actively working on right now that are interviewing this week, next week. That would be a great opportunity for you guys to apply. So early years apprenticeships, this is within the nursery setting, and there's around 50 plus locations across London. So loads of nurseries we're working with that are looking for nursery early years educators to join their team. Business admin apprenticeship opportunities in the West Sussex area. Sports coach apprenticeships, and that's the level 4 sports coach qualification, and they've got several different sites, Chelmsford, Lowestoft and Great Yarmouth, so across the UK with those. We do also have sports teaching assistants available as well, again across the UK, so do get in touch if you're interested in the sort of the more sports TA, PE teacher side of things. A couple of teaching assistant roles in the Cambridge area. We've got a lab technician apprenticeship in Cornwall, if there's anyone from Cornwall on the call. We've got IT technicians available in the London area, and there are multiple based at that site as well. We've got another early years apprenticeship in Essex, digital marketing and content creator opportunities in Dartford, Kent and Wirral areas. And again, another teaching assistant apprenticeship in the Devon area. So just to bear in mind, these are some of our hot jobs and they are across the whole of the UK. We're not just in those big cities, we are everywhere. So it's always worth having a look. One of my colleagues will actually put our careers page on the chat box for you now, and that will actually list all of our career vacancy that are live at the moment, so you can browse those. And yeah, thanks, Jim. We've actually just got here a page. This is what our careers page will look like on our website. So if you click that link or even just search our website, it will pull up our main page. If you click on apprenticeships or just hover over the apprenticeships tab, that will show you this screen here. And if you just click explore now, where the arrow is pointing, and that will come up with all of our live list of vacancies, so you can browse through those in your own time. If you just go on to the next page for me, Jamie, thank you. This is what our vacancy pages will look like. So say you're interested in applying to one, you click on that vacancy, this is what will come up, and it will give you all of the key details, you know, what we're looking for, the apprenticeship summary, the wages, you know, how and when the course will be delivered, the duration of the apprenticeship program. So everything that you need to know will be on that website for you. So yeah, if one of my colleagues can pop that in the chat, feel free to go and have a look and a browse at our vacancies. Yeah, brilliant. I think with that as well, yeah, so let's move on to our CV and application tips. So say once you've, you know, you're really interested in applying with us, you found an apprenticeship that you think, yeah, that really suits me, I'm really keen on applying. Let's have a little look at some of our CV and application tips. Some of our apprentices that apply are straight out of school, and they may not have, you know, sourced a CV or an application themselves before. So some great tips here that myself and the team have put together that we feel we look out for anyway in our candidates. So some of our do's. Do make sure that it's personal to you, so make sure it's individual. You've put a personal profile at the top there, introduced yourself on your CV. This can be something about your background, you know, your career goals, you know, some of your, just a bit of a background, some of your experience that you've had, just that gives you a nice summary about yourself. Do use clear and smart black font throughout, so keep it smart, keep it professional. You should include sections on work experience, your education history, your awards and achievements, and your skills as well. And try not just to list those, try to give as much detail as you possibly can. That would be great. Have a look at online CVs, for example, and inspiration. They're not always, you know, the great CVs to look at, the most ideal ones, but it's just good to give yourself an idea of the layout and how to structure them. Try to tailor your CV to the specific job role that you're applying for. So it doesn't tend to matter too much, but sometimes we'll get applicants that apply for a teaching assistant role, for example, and on their CV, the top line will say, I'm really interested in digital marketing, or a career in that field. So just try and make sure that it is relevant to the role you're applying for. And a great way to do that is to proofread your CV. So check for your spelling, your punctuation and things like that, or have someone read through it with you, just to give some extra feedback. So moving on to your don'ts. Don't overshare too much information. So as I mentioned, do try and keep it really professional, really sleek and smart. We don't need to know everything about you, your whole history. Use informal languages or slang terms. So don't use anything that's slang or swear words, or, you know, try and again keep it really professional. Don't just write your name in a few sentences, so keep it well structured, give detail. Don't speak poorly or badmouth any previous employees or companies that you've worked for. It's not a good look. Again, just keep it smart, keep it professional. Don't include any personal data. So we don't need, you know, your bank details. We don't need your national insurance number, your height or your weight. If and when your employer or your apprenticeship provider needs that, that will be further down the line once you're enrolled. And don't use someone else's CV or an inappropriate email address. We do get that. We get a lot of repeat or copies that we get, applying for our vacancies. We do notice it, and employers will. So do just keep it, again, professional. Make sure it's tailored to yourself, and have a think about the wording of your email address. It might be worth making a new email account when you're applying for some of the vacancies. Brilliant. And if I just hand back over to Jamie, he's going to talk you through some of our career pathways that are available.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Poppy. Some really, really useful tips there. So obviously we are going to be sending out the recording to this afterwards as well. So don't feel like you have to take all that information in right now. And if you do want some support in the future, again, we're going to be giving you our contact details at the end, and you can get in contact, reach out to Poppy and the team, and we'll definitely continue to support you as well. But as Poppy said, I'm going to now talk about some of our career pathways, one in particular actually, and that's our teaching pathway. And really with this pathway, it really starts with a teaching assistant level 3 program. And this one of our flagship apprenticeship programs. It lasts around about 18 months time or in duration. And then once you've completed that, you can actually progress on to our higher level teaching assistant program, which is normally funded through our partner schools as well. And then right at the very end, we have a skills teacher level 5 apprenticeship, which is actually 24 months long, which actually gives you a QTLS program as well. And some of those programs and also qualifications that you get from that pathway are listed on the screen there. And in terms of career progression, if you do want to get into teaching, as an example, you can be a general teaching assistant, you might become a higher level teaching assistant, you might specialize in a certain strand, like an SEND strand. And then of course you can also become a non-qualified teacher. And actually we do also have some apprentices that have started as a teaching assistant, and then they've actually gone to university afterwards and actually gone into teaching and become a fully qualified teacher. So this is a really, really good pathway. It's a really good example of the career pathways put in place. And really any program you start with us, we'll make sure we have those progressions mapped out for you as well. So that's just a really good example of that as well. So what's next? Well, next steps wise, if you do want to apply for any of those apprenticeships, you might have seen an apprenticeship pop up on those hot jobs that Poppy spoke about, or you might have gone onto our career page with the links in the chat right now and seen the full list of vacancies. If you do want to apply, of course you can apply for our website, but if not, please do email your name, your location, and what program interests you directly into apprenticeships@lmpeducation.org. And I'm sure someone will put that email address into the chat shortly as well. There we go. As if magic, it's just popped straight into the chat. Look at that. But yeah, please do reach out to us, your name, location, the program you're interested in. If you've got a CV already, attach it to that email, apprenticeships@lmpeducation.org, and a member of the team will get straight in contact with you as well. So what does the journey look like? So we're here today, we're on the webinar, or you might have applied for a role with us, say, or you might be watching this back. So you're on the Zoom broadcast, you apply to one of our vacancies. Within 1 to 2 weeks, what's going to happen is we're going to start screening, okay? We're going to give you some more information, advice and guidance. We might put you on one of those short courses that we spoke about as well. But we're going to interview you for sure over the phone or over Teams over the next 1 to 2 weeks if you reach out to us. And then what's going to happen is we are going to then start sending you to interviews with our employers. And again, like I said before, you might have already started doing a short course with us in this time, which is going to help you become more employable with that as well. Once you start interviewing with our employers, hopefully you're going to get a job offer. And once you actually have a job offer, you start to go through the enrolment process with us onto one of our apprenticeships. If you're based in a school, then we'll also complete a DBS application. So we do a full enhanced DBS application. That is the safeguarding certificate effectively that you need to be able to work within a school or within an education environment. And we say that process takes between 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the vacancy and depending also on the availability of our employers there as well. And after that period, you're going to start your apprenticeship. So quite an exciting moment, really. If you think about it, like Poppy said, we've got some apprenticeships that are starting now. We've got quite a few that are starting in September. So really, within 1 to 2 weeks, you're going to know what opportunities we have for you. And then after that, in terms of once we've screened you, once you've been put forward for our vacancies, you're going to start meeting some of those fantastic employers that we spoke about earlier as well. Okay, so that's pretty much everything from us. We've just put our social media up there as well. So another really good way to stay in contact with us and also to keep up to date with everything that we're doing is to follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, and also by following us on LinkedIn. And that's also another top tip. If you're sitting there right now, you're thinking, oh, what's LinkedIn? I haven't got a LinkedIn profile yet. Well, really, LinkedIn's actually like an online CV, and how you can actually connect with your colleagues if you're working, or you can actually connect and follow businesses that you might want to one day work for as well. It's basically an online CV. So do get yourself onto LinkedIn and make sure that LMP Education is the first people or first company that you follow on there as well, because we do also put things like future webinars on there, and we also put apprenticeship opportunities up there, and also just general top tips of what's going on. So that's us. We're now going to move to our Q&A section. So a massive thank you to everybody for attending today. We really do look forward to supporting you into an apprenticeship if that's the right option and the right program for you. Like I said at the very start, we've got a team of panelists that have hopefully been answering your questions throughout if you've been using that Q&A box. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording shortly, and I'm going to invite our panel on to answer any questions you might have. But if you do have questions now, you're thinking, wow, that was good, that presentation was great, but I'm actually still thinking about something, then please put it into that Q&A box, and we will be able to answer that question. So I just
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Jamie. I just wanted to mention, I've seen a few questions in the chat box here coming through. If there is a vacancy that you've looked on our careers page, you've looked for our vacancies and there's nothing in your area at the moment, still do get in contact with us. Send over your CV, your name, your location to that email address, our apprenticeships inbox, and we can get in contact with you. And we do have a number of clients and schools that we work with all year round that might not necessarily be recruiting right now, but we will be recruiting for in the coming weeks and months. So definitely get in contact with us, even if there's nothing in your area at the moment. And we are also happy to contact potential other businesses and local schools and employers to you. So if there is someone that you're really keen to work with and you're not really sure how to go about that, again, get in contact with us and we can kind of bridge that gap for you and hopefully put you on the right track for the apprenticeship. So yeah, just something to note there.